Season 3 opens in the immediate aftermath of Georgia's shocking arrest, picking up the intensity right where the dramatic Season 2 cliffhanger left things. What was supposed to be a perfect fairy tale wedding comes crashing down as Georgia is led away in handcuffs, accused of murdering Tom Fuller. The once idyllic town of Wellsbury erupts into a frenzy of rumors and judgment, and the community quickly turns its gaze and suspicion toward the Miller family. Georgia's carefully constructed world begins to unravel, and the emotional fallout spreads quickly through her home. Ginny, now 16 and already burdened with the weight of growing up fast, finds herself caught between her love for her mother and the terrifying possibility that the woman who raised her might truly be a killer. At school, she's met with stares, whispers, and isolation, and she struggles to understand how to move forward in a world where everything she thought she knew is suddenly uncertain. At school, Ginny finds unexpected tension and connection as she meets two new characters who bring fresh energy and complications into her life. Wolf, a brooding and introspective poet, quickly becomes someone Ginny feels seen by, while Triss, a confident and thoughtful non-binary peer tutor, brings a new dynamic to the friend group that challenges old routines. Meanwhile, Georgia is confined to her home, ankle monitor and all, and forced to maintain her upbeat persona under increasing stress. In typical Georgia fashion, she tries to make the best of her confinement, going so far as to decorate her monitor with rhinestones in a whimsical, if desperate, attempt to hold on to some sense of control. But the cracks are showing. Austin, still reeling from witnessing his mother's actions firsthand, starts to act out, his behavior becoming unpredictable and worrying. With new personalities shaking up the social order and past traumas coming to the surface, it's clear early on that this season will be darker, more emotionally intense, and more personal than anything the series has tackled before. This season isn't just about the fallout in the present. It also peels back the layers of Georgia's past in powerful and often painful ways. As her murder trial looms closer, the show reveals flashbacks that expose the lengths she's gone to protect her children and the traumas that have left lasting scars. These glimpses into her history make clear that Georgia's choices, while often morally murky, come from a place of survival. The return of Gil, Georgia's abusive ex, both in memories and in present-day confrontations, adds an even more dangerous layer to the already intense proceedings. The courtroom scenes become high-stakes battles of truth, perception, and manipulation, as Georgia tries to stay a step ahead of everyone, both in the legal system and in her own family. Her charm, once a shield, now threatens to become her undoing as she's forced to confront just how much of her While past can Georgia's stay legal hidden. troubles take center stage, Ginny's emotional journey runs just as deep and is arguably even more heart-wrenching. Her poetry becomes her refuge, a place where she can finally speak the truth about her pain, her confusion, and her deep-seated anger. Through therapy, Ginny begins to confront her history of self-harm and the emotional fallout of living in a house full of secrets. These sessions help her begin to find her voice, but also force her to face the truth of what her mother's choices have done to her. One of the most unforgettable moments of the season comes when Ginny confronts Georgia directly, finally voicing all the fear, love, and rage she's kept bottled up. It's a raw, emotional explosion that highlights just how complicated their bond has become, a mix of deep devotion and justified resentment. Outside of the central drama between Ginny and Georgia, the rest of the ensemble cast continues to evolve, each facing their own challenges and changes. Maxine finds herself unexpectedly swept up in a new romance with Silver, which brings both excitement and uncertainty. Abby continues to grapple with body image and self-esteem, often feeling like the odd one out in the group. Zion, Ginny's father, steps up in a meaningful way, offering a steady presence as both a parent and a much-needed counterbalance to Georgia's chaos. Meanwhile, Joe remains quietly in the background, still harboring feelings for Georgia, though his storyline sometimes feels like it's stuck in neutral. The season does its best to weave these arcs together, and while some resonate deeply with emotional honesty, others drift without resolution, Still, these storylines add texture to the world of Wellsbury, keeping it grounded in the day-to-day realities of love, identity, and personal growth. Review: big emotions, bigger stakes. Season 3 thrives when it zeroes in on its core characters and lets their emotions take the lead. Brienne Howie is once again magnetic as Georgia, balancing charm, fear, and cold survival instinct. Antonia Gentry shines as Ginny, delivering a layered performance that captures the quiet pain and strength of a teen forced to grow up too fast. Diesel La Taraka's Austin, though young, provides some of the most heartbreaking moments as he reacts to the chaos around him. The season doesn't shy away from weighty themes. Mental health, abuse, addiction, and racial identity all take center stage, and the show handles them with more maturity than in earlier seasons. Ginny's poetry, in particular, becomes a central narrative tool, giving voice to what she can't say out loud. Her recognition as a youth poet laureate is one of the most uplifting moments in a season full of emotional highs and lows. New characters like Wolf and Triss breathe fresh air into the cast, while Zion's larger role provides grounding and clarity. The soundtrack continues to be a strong suit, adding emotion and energy to nearly every scene. What holds it back? Pacing and excess. Despite its strong emotional beats, Season 3 does suffer from pacing issues. With 10 full-hour episodes, some storylines feel repetitive or stretched too thin. Max's romance and Abby's struggles are compelling, but others, like Nora's arc or Joe's lingering crush, don't always move the story forward. The show sometimes leans a bit too far into melodrama, especially during the trial, where moments meant to be shocking can feel over the top. Still, the emotional core, the bond between Ginny and Georgia, keeps the season grounded. Whether they're fighting or finding peace, their dynamic remains raw and believable. The cliffhanger in the finale is a bold one, guaranteed to stir conversation and speculation about what's next.